I'm about to do you a favor, give you a little behind-the-scenes action on what happens when you're putting together a television show. I know everybody thinks, Jesse, you're so smart and handsome. I'm sure you just sit down and just roll out an amazing show every day. Well, I mean, a lot of that's true. But the truth of the matter is you do have to have some coordination with your people who work on the show with you. You just do. You have to gather video. You have to gather audio. You have to gather things for the stories you like. We call them elements. So this was an actual conversation I had today with my producer. I would like to get the video of Joe Biden saying kids touched his leg. Producer tells me, I saw that. That's a funny parody, but we can't use it. Me, no, it's real. Him, there's no way on earth that's real. Ladies and gentlemen, the video I'm about to show you is not one of those hilarious bad lip reading things. It's not a parody. It's not a deep fake. It's not something some clever little dude came up somewhere in his mom's basement on his computer. What you're seeing, this person speaking, is the leading candidate by a mile to be the Democrat nominee for President of the United States of America. On my life, he said this. Go.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what.
Okay. We're just going to move on from that. That's something. Well, nevertheless, don't let a bad little speech or a bad moment in a speech get you down, Joe. Everybody gets down from time to time. The bottom line is the Joe Biden campaign is moving full speed ahead, and they are ready to go after every single voting demographic in the United States of America, including especially the younger generation. You see, you know Joe Biden's going to do well with the older folks because he's really old. But the truth is he needs to bring in some younger voters, some middle-aged voters. So Joe, he has a strategy for that. Check out this new campaign slogan.
We're going to go on a 660-mile trip across the state.
No malarkey.
I'm ready. Let's go, Joe!
Can we show the full screen of the bus again? I just want to see just the bus. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not made up. I swear to you it's not made up. Again, similar to the conversation I had with my producer this morning, I actually showed that picture to my wife when that came out on Saturday, and she said, ha ha ha, which one of your friends did that? Like she thought one of my friends did a Photoshop of it. That is not a Photoshop, people. Look at it. Breathe it in. That is real. The No Malarkey Tour, a statement that he not only came up with, a statement he's so proud of that he had printed on the side of his campaign bus. That the No Malarkey Tour. Well, Joe Biden really modernizing with the phrases from the 1920s. And in case you thought it couldn't get any worse for old Uncle Joe, well, he had his wife out there on the campaign trail with him. I believe this was this weekend. And look, this happens. Candidates from time to time will attempt to humanize themselves. You know, you want to be Joe family man. So you bring the wife and kids up. Look, I ran for office before. I did the same thing too. Bring up the wife, kiss the kids. Hey, look, I'm a dad. I swear I'm not a monster. Well, Joe Biden's wife got up on stage and gave a little speech. And she made the horrible mistake of letting her finger get a little bit too close to old Uncle Joe's mouth, at which time he leaned down and sucked on her finger in public. I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand what kind of human being their first instinct would do something like that. Look, and I'm not here to shame anybody for what they do. That's your call. But people, in all seriousness, this is not a campaign that is going to be able to beat President Donald Trump. It's just not. You can be the biggest Trump hater in the world, and that's fine. You don't have to wear anybody's pajamas. Joe Biden is currently in the lead. I thought Elizabeth Warren was going to take him, but the polls continue to be strong for Joe Biden across the states. He's not only in the lead, he's in a comfortable lead over the rest of the field. That means, as it stands right now, it is very likely that that man is going to be the Democrat nominee for president. And Joe Biden is just not ready for prime time. He's not. And here's the sad part for Joe Biden, from his perspective, he never was. People oftentimes think somebody rises up to a position and they're worthy of that position, but that's not the case. Sometimes a lot of people, they just kind of fall upwards. They trip backwards and land themselves promotions. It happens all the time. And don't forget, that is exactly what happened to Joe Biden. Joe Biden was a no-name senator, as no-name as a U.S. senator could possibly be. He's been in the Senate since Thomas Jefferson was president. He never made any national splash, never made any national news, had a brief embarrassing run for president some time ago where he got something like 2%, but he's never been a national figure, never been a leading Democrat figure. But Barack Obama runs for president, catches lightning in a bottle, finds himself the Democrat nominee. Barack Obama had a resume thinner than a supermodel and decided he needed to add something to it. What he needed was a lot of experience, especially foreign policy experience, and he needed a white guy. And as we've seen time and time again, Joe Biden may be the whitest person on the planet next to Elizabeth Warren. So Barack Obama brings in Joe Biden and says, Joe, just don't talk too much. Just be my vice president. And he was vice president for 8 years, but that didn't change who Joe Biden was. A relatively milquetoast, backbench U.S. senator with a habit of sticking his foot in his mouth a lot. And the fact that Barack Obama helped him rise to be vice president of the United States for 8 years, well, that didn't change the leopard spots. Joe Biden's still an idiot. Joe Biden was never prime time. Joe Biden was never, ever, 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 ever meant to run for or be president of the United States of America. And you know what? There's actually nothing wrong with that. It would be horrible to be president of the United States of America. There's no job better than vice president. You have virtually no responsibilities. On the taxpayer dime, you travel in luxury all across the world. Nice retirement check. That's a good life. Being president would suck, so he doesn't have to feel ashamed of that. But who should feel ashamed is everybody in Joe Biden's inner circle who gathered around him and whispered in his ear, Joe, you can beat him. Joe, you're so popular. Look, you were vice president. Some of those people were lying, and they knew they were lying. They wanted to leech some campaign dollars off of Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not ready for the big time. Joe Biden's campaign is ancient. It looks ancient. It's boring. Nobody shows up for the rallies. And his newest campaign slogan is no malarkey. Please, just enjoy this little video we prepared for you.
You know, I can still remember the very first sweets given to me by my grandfather. They were Werther's Original, and I was 4. I had a bit of trouble opening that shiny golden wrapper, but then, well, I'll never forget that first taste. Sweet and creamy and uncommonly good. I remember feeling I must be someone very special when my granddad gave me his wonderful butter candy. Well, now I'm the granddad. And what else would I give my little grandson but my Werther's Original? After all, he's someone very special too, you know.
I hope you enjoyed that latest campaign ad from the Joe Biden campaign.